So you did the work and you built the map. You identified your 5 people and you showed up consistently. And now you're in the room and you're meeting with your skip level management. The project kickoff with leadership, the moment you've been building towards. And then what happens? Your mind goes blank. Not because you don't know what to say, but because you're suddenly terrified of saying the wrong thing. Because extroverts speak to think, but introverts, we think to speak. And that's not a flaw, that's a feature. It's a feature when you know how to use it. And today we're going to fix that speaking up problem once and for all. Welcome to the Drew Chaz Podcast. This is a show for introverts who think deeply, do good work, and feel overlooked because, let's face it, the world rewards loud, fast behavior. I help the irresistible introvert understand how their mind works, stop second guessing themselves, and place their quiet authority where it finally gets noticed. Welcome to the Drew Chaz Podcast. I'm Drew, and we're now 3 episodes deep into what I'm calling that quiet authority series, and it's episode 13 gave the 30-day framework. Episode 14 gave you the 5-people map, if you remember. And today, episode 15, this is about what happens when you're actually in the room. And here's what nobody tells introverts about speaking up at work. The problem isn't confidence. It's about having a structure for what to say before you actually say it. Because here's what I constantly hear from corporate introverts. I hear them say, I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but someone else said it first. Or, I waited too long. Or, I said it, nobody reacted the way I expected. How many times does that happen? But that's not a confidence issue. That's a delivery issue. And delivery is very teachable. How many times have we told a joke or something? Me anyway, I'm a joker. I like to just keep people, in a good mood, laughing or what have you. But how many times have you told a joke or just said something witty and nobody reacts to it? Or you said the same thing to the right person at the right time and everybody's dying laughing, right? It's all about timing and your delivery and understanding who your audience is. What you're going to walk away with is, first, why introverts freeze in meetings and what's actually happening in that moment. Second, we're going to learn the 3-part quiet voice framework. It's a simple structure for speaking up that works every time without requiring you to think on your feet. And third, we'll have 5 actual sentences you can use this week to insert your thinking into any conversation at work. So let's talk about that freeze moment. Let me describe a moment every introvert in a corporate setting has lived. So picture this. You're in a meeting, someone raises a problem, you have a thought, a good one, and you start working through it internally, checking the angles, making sure it's solid before you open your mouth, and then someone else says it. A half-formed version, of course, less precise than what you had, but they said it first. So what happens? Of course, the room responds to them. And you sit there thinking, dang it, that was my idea. I had that 3 minutes ago. That system is what we're actually going to build today. It's a 3-part quiet voice framework, and this framework can be learned in 5 minutes. You can use it in any meeting, you can use it in any conversation, or any high-stakes moment for that matter. You don't need to become a bold out, command the room speaker. You need 3 things: a trigger, a structure, and a sentence to start with. You weren't too slow. You were just waiting for permission that was never going to come. Nobody in that room was going to call on you, and you had to take the floor, and you didn't have a system for doing it. It took me years to figure that out, but once I did, it has changed everything. So let's get back over to the bridge. So the bridge is a short phrase that signals you're about to speak, and it's without asking for permission or apologizing for existing. Most introverts make one of two mistakes. They either say nothing or they open with an apology. Sorry, I was just thinking, or this might be off base, but, well, the bridge does the opposite. It claims the space confidently and briefly. Let me list a couple of bridge phrases that actually work. Just start with a phrase like, building on that, or here's what I keep coming back to, or the pattern I'm seeing is, or what this makes me think about is, just short, direct, and no apology. That's your bridge. Sweet, fast, quick, and to the point. Now the insight, and this is your actual thinking. One clear point, not 3 points, not a full analysis, just one insight that adds something to the conversation. Introverts tend to over explain because they're afraid of being misunderstood. Just resist that instinct here. One insight, stated clearly, is more powerful than four insights buried in the qualifications. The insight answers one of these three questions. What does this actually mean? You interpret the situation. Or what is everyone missing? But you identify the gap. And what should we do next? You move the conversation forward. After the insight is the anchor. The anchor is actually a closing line that lands your point and stops you from over talking. Most introverts, when they finally speak, keep going because they're afraid the point didn't land. So it's explained over and over again and again and again until it's all diluted out. An anchor actually ends the thought cleanly and invites response without begging for it. Let me give you a few anchor phrases that work. One of them is, that's the part I'd want us to think through before we decide. Or I think that's worth pausing on. Or that's where I'd focus the energy. Actually, one of the ones I've used quite often is, hold on, let's go back to that statement and let's clarify. That's just the bridge, the insight, and the anchor. And that's the whole framework. You speak once, you speak clearly, and then you stop. The room actually does the rest. Here are 5 actual sentences that you can use this week. And it's bridge plus insight plus actor that you can use in real situations. And really, let's try this week. Adapt them to your voice, but the structure is built in. So the situation is this. You want to add context to a decision being made. Building on what was just said. And the risk I keep coming back to is X. That's the part I'd want us to address before we move forward. Situation number 2. You spotted a pattern nobody else named. And you said, the pattern I'm seeing across these 3 situations is X. I think that's worth pausing on. Situation number 3 is you disagree but want to redirect, not argue. And you say, here's what I keep coming back to. X might be a different way to look at this. That's where I'd focus all the energy. Situation number 4, you want to move a stalled conversation forward. And your sentence is this. What this makes me think about is X. That might be the clearest next step. So in situation number 5, you're in a one-on-one and you want to demonstrate strategic thinking. And you say, I've been thinking about X and the thing that stands out to me is Y. I think that's the lever worth pulling right now. I mean, I think you get the idea. You don't have to use those exact words. Use it in a way where it's the language that you normally use, that people are used to, but make it effective in the situation that you're in. And let's get a quick win challenge for the week. Pick the bridge phrase you feel most natural to you and memorize it. Use it before you've fully worked out what you're going to say, because the structure is going to carry you. So in summary, this week use the bridge, insight, anchor structure once in every meeting you attend, just once per meeting. You don't need to dominate the conversation. You just need to be present in it. You know, introverts freeze in meetings not because we lack ideas, but because we don't have a reliable system for delivering these under pressure. But the 3-part quiet voice framework, the bridge, the insight, the anchor, it gives you that system. And you don't have to think on your feet. You use the structure, insert your one clear point, and then you stop. Speaking up strategically once is more powerful than speaking consistently with nothing to actually say. Your thinking is already the asset, right? This framework is just a delivery vehicle. So, what I hope you learned today is that the freeze moment is a delivery problem, not a confidence problem. Bridge phrases claim the space without apology. One clear insight beats four buried in qualifications every time. And an anchor ends your point cleanly and it stops you from over talking. You don't need to command the room, you just need to be present in it. So, in conclusion, you've already done the hard work. You built your authority, you mapped your people, you showed up consistently, and now it's time to speak. Not louder, but clearer. And if you haven't taken my free quiet superpower quiz yet, I really suggest you do that first. Just go to drewchaz.com/quiz and you'll have access to that free quiz. What it does is that it shows you exactly how your authority moves and where you hold back. So that's drewchaz.com/quiz. Again, drewchaz.com/quiz. Go there, take the quiz, get your results. Because listen, your analytical mind isn't what's holding you back. It's your greatest asset when you know how to use it. So until next time, keep thinking deeply, keep moving forward, and most of all, you be you. Listen, if this episode helped you see yourself more clearly, please follow or subscribe to the Drew Chaz Podcast. Leaving a review helps other introverts just find my show, and sharing this episode helps someone else feel less alone in their thinking. If you want the full system, from visibility to the raise, the Promotion Playbook Jumpstart has a formula that has everything in it. And the pre-sale starts next week. I can't wait. This is so awesome. And it just goes step by step through the whole process of you getting that raise that you really deserve. So again, the Promotion Playbook Jumpstart is coming to its pre-sale next week. So stay tuned, and I know it's going to totally bless you. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, you be you.